Hi everyone, my name is Alice Dang, and I want to change the way people buy home in the United States. That's a pretty big statement, I know. So obviously the question is how? I'm building a review platform called HomeProof. The simplest way to describe this is that HomeProof is the truth behind every home. Today's housing market is built around beautiful listing, polished photos, and marketing languages, but almost none of that tells buyer was actually like to live there after the closing papers are signed or before we get to the inspection stage. So HomeProof creates something that the market has always been missing, a review layer for homes written by renters who've lived there, verified buyers who've toured the properties, and neighbors who actually knows the area. Real experiences from people with nothing to sell to you. Here's the reality for what's at stake and why I want to create this product. Buying a home is the single largest financial decision most Americans will ever make. The average home in the United States now costs over $400,000. People spend years saving for a down payment and then often make the decision after seeing the property only once or twice. Yet, despite the size of this decision, buyers still go in almost blind. The industry has optimized itself for speed and transaction incredibly well, but it has not optimized for transparency. Because in most cases, everyone involved benefits when the deal closes quickly, except for the buyer. The buyer is often the only person truly carrying the long-term risk. So the insight I've gathered from doing multiple MVP and business interview is that we already trust review for almost everything else in life. We read reviews before trying restaurants, we check ratings before booking a hotel, and people even search, workplace before accepting a job offer. But when it comes to the place we live in for the next 30 years, that layer of honesty barely exists. There's no place to learn things like, does the basement flood? Are the neighbor constantly loud? Does the HOA create problems for you later in life? Is the street actually safe at night? Those are the things buyers only discover after they move in, and that is where the gap of home proof is looking to fill. So this is a home proof demo. Every home gets its own profile powered by live experience. Reviews come in live from three groups: renters who live in the homes, buyers who've toured the properties, and neighbors who knows what it's actually like to live on that street. User can rate things that buyer genuinely care about, like foundation issues, drainage, noise, HOA, behavior, hidden maintenance costs, and the list goes on. But instead of filtering homes only by square footage, buyers now have the ability to filter based on what real people are experiencing. And the goal is really simple. People should not have to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to hear the truth about a home. The timing of this matters too, because homes right now are at historic high. Buyers are often making faster decision in a competitive market, especially here, in 2026 going forward, and many are even waiving inspections just to stay competitive in this market. At the exact same time, consumer behaviors has changed dramatically. People are now expecting transparency and reviews before making almost any important purchase. So the stakes are getting higher, the decision is happening faster, but the tools that the buyers are looking for to use still have not evolved to match that reality. Today, HomeProof is already a working prototype, and I want to make it into a reality. The platform is built end to end. Review system is functional. We are actively preparing for launch. Our goal is to launch publicly at the end of this summer with more than 1,000 homes already on the platform in Indiana. And by the end of the year, we are looking to capture that Midwest market here. That density matters because what we want the platform to feel genuinely is useful from day one and not just empty placeholder. Right now, our biggest focus is making sure that we have trusted reviews, building moderation system, and making sure the experience create real trust for buyers. Companies like Zillow, Redfin, Realtor are incredible businesses, but they're optimized for listing and transaction. HomeProof is optimized for truth. We are trying to replace those platform, you know, in the way that we're trying to create more transparency, but we're not trying to replace them in terms of listing. In fact, we should fit right beside them when it comes to people finding homes. We want to help people understand what our living like is there. If we execute this correctly, checking home proof becomes part of the buying process before someone makes an offer, because buyers should not have to discover a major problem only after moving in. What I'm looking for right now from the Creator X program is that I want mentorship, network, and early support, especially people who understand community product, trust system, and moderation, marketplace, and growth. I want to help thinking through like how to scale honest reviews, how to avoid pitfall that like common startup has, and while keeping the platform credible and safe. And I want to learn from people who have built products centered around transparency and user trust, and that's why I think CreaX is an incredible opportunity offered by Georgia Tech to build a strong foundation underneath HomeProof at this early stage. I believe that the future of home buying is a shared experience. As a younger buyer and a first time buyer like myself, right now we are at a major disadvantage. So I want to build HomeProof because I truly believe it has the power to level the playing field for transparency around the buying experience. No buyer should have to find out when it is too late, and I don't want anyone to live with the regret of buying a home and expecting it to fit them and their family to only discover that it was a huge mistake. I look forward to capturing the Indiana market by the end of the summer and capturing the entire Midwest market by the end of the year. So I love to be part of the Create program and journey, and I want it to be a shared relationship and experience. So I hope to hear from you. So thank you so much for coming to my presentation.